Let's talk about Square checking account, and everybody knows Square as an online store provider. People know Square as a POS provider, but when it comes to a checking account, can you really trust Square as a checking product provider? Let's talk about that. So this will be an in-depth review of Square checking. Let me first give you an overview. If you think about Square, I want you to think about a provider that's actually great for you. If you're primarily looking to actually have access to banking or business banking in the digital space. In other words, Square doesn't have, let's say, brick and mortar branches that you can go to and talk to someone. So if you have a Square business checking account, you need to remember that you are primarily conducting business over the phone, but also online. Okay. So if you like that kind of scenario, that's really good. You might want to consider, or at least look at Square checking more closely. So when you're opening a business checking account, you want to choose the right features and fee structures too. Okay. So Square has actually been known to be a popular financial payment processor. Okay. But the thing is now they're offering checking accounts. So you have to understand that Square is a financial services company. So it's a fintech, right? One of the most known fintechs. But they're not a bank. They're not your traditional Citi, Wells Fargo, Truist, or PNC bank, or even credit union. So Square has to work with a third-party bank. In this case, Sutton Bank, that is a member FDIC. So if you leave your cash with Square checking in your Square checking account, you are protected up to $250,000 in terms of FDIC insurance. So Square checking offers several compelling benefits, including mostly fee-free accounts and seamless integration with Square point of sale systems. Okay, like I said, Square is known primarily to be a POS provider. Okay, so when you think about having an integrated product, you are having a very easy solution for business owners when it comes to transferring, managing, or even receiving payments. Okay, so whether or not Square checking could be the ideal solution for you will depend on a few factors that I will actually elaborate on very soon. So if you think about Square checking, I want to share with you some of the features, some of the key features that a lot of customers actually have come to appreciate. So you have an easy to use interface and POS, okay? Of course, for you to actually have a Square checking account, you got to be an existing customer. So if you are not a Square POS user, you cannot open a Square checking account. So Square is trying to actually add an extra layer of flexibility to its customers by offering the checking account. So the cool thing is that if you are, let's say, a Square POS user, chances are you are already familiar with Square's intuitive, easy to use interface. So by adding Square checking, you can fund your sales instantly and spend the money right away via your Square debit card. Okay. There is waiting for transfers or processing time. So if you want to have access to your cash right away, this could be really pretty interesting for you. You also have digital and physical debit cards. So Square offers both digital and physical debit cards for all account holders. So you just need to add your Square debit card to Apple Pay or Google Pay or even Samsung Pay to make purchases online, in apps, or in store instantly. You can also get a Square debit card for everyday transactions. This is really good from a flexibility point of view. Okay, and so as an owner, you can distribute up to 5 debit cards to your team, which allows them actually to make purchases from the business account. Again, those are not credit cards; those are debit cards. You also have there are no hidden fees with a Square checking account, so that's pretty good. You have also security features. So Square offers a two-step verification to protect your account from unauthorized access with verification text upon login. You have FDIC insurance. I've said this before. So basically, your funds are protected up to $250,000 through Square's partnership with Sutton Bank. You have convenient transfers. So you can transfer actually funds daily to an external bank account for free. available actually the next business day. Okay. Now, for a small fee, you can instantly transfer funds to your external bank account or set up a customizable schedule for transfers to external accounts. So that's really good. And finally, you have some additional features depending upon your setup, your account setup. So Square Checking also allows you to issue and manage printable checks directly from your Square Checking balance. It's also very easy to organize and streamline outgoing payments. So the app and website offer options to upload bills, take photos, or forward via email. So what are the requirements here? We are speaking about Square Checking account, right? Like I said before, you got to be an existing Square customer. In other words, you got to be an existing Square POS user, okay? So you can set up a Square Checking account in just a couple of minutes. To get started, you want to sign up as a Square seller. So you got to be approved as a Square seller to actually become a Square POS user, right? Once that's done, opening your checking account is straightforward. So simply head to the balance applets, in your Square point of sale app or a dashboard. So everything is actually done in a pretty, I would say, user-friendly way. You just need to click on Square Checking. So the product is available right there. And you can select, let's say, open account and follow the prompts to verify your information. Like I said a little earlier, Square already has most of the info about your business, because if you're a Square POS user, they've actually collected that info before onboarding you, but they still want you to really provide details, okay? And also you can personalize your business debit card and confirm the shipping address for I would say accountability purposes. And while you wait for your physical card to arrive, Square suggests actually adding your debit card to Apple Pay or Samsung Pay, or in some cases, Google Pay. Okay, and this allows you to start using your funds immediately and not have to wait for 1 week or 2 weeks for USPS to actually deliver, USPS or UPS or FedEx to deliver your Square Checking, your Square debit card. So this is kind of cool in terms of flexibility. So if you're thinking about Square Checking, let's quickly delve into the fees that you need to pay or at least plan for. So you do have a series of fees. I mean, the Square likes to position itself as an all free sort of product. When it comes to Square Checking, that's not the case. But one thing for sure though, Square Checking does not charge, they don't charge monthly maintenance fees, minimum balance requirements, overdraft fees, or foreign transaction fees. So this is kind of similar to their fintech peers, their fintech colleagues actually provide. Fintech colleagues such as Novo, Relay, such as Bluevine, and so on and so forth. So let me give you the list of all the fees associated with a Square Checking account. So you have instant transfer fee. So Square charges 1.75% per transaction for instant transfers to a linked account. To access an instant transfer, you must have a minimum balance of $25 after Square's fees and a maximum transfer size of $10,000. So $10,000, that's the daily limits. You also have same-day transfer fee. So Square charges 1.75 per transaction for same-day transfers, kind of similar to instant transfer fee. Same-day transfers require a minimum balance of $1 after Square's fees. There is a maximum individual transaction size limit of 10 grand. So when your account exceeds, when your account balance exceeds $10,000, but doesn't include individual transactions greater than 10 grand, you will receive multiple transfers. You also have manual transfer fee. There is no fee for standard manual transfers like next business day. You have ATM withdrawal fee. So withdrawals are subject to ATM operator fees. Square itself doesn't charge for ATM withdrawals. You have also instant deposit to other accounts. So Square charges a 1.5% fee for instant deposits from Square Checking to other accounts. So this is something to really think about. You also have POS. So POS fees. So Square POS, so these fees vary depending on the payment method used in the Square POS system. Square charges 2.65% for swipe, contactless, and prepaid gift card payments. They charge 2.9% plus 30 cents per Square invoice and 3.4% plus 15 cents for manually entered payments. So online sales come with a 2.9% plus 30 cents fee. Interact debit cards are processed at 0.75% plus 7 cents per tap and have no associated fees. Okay, so that's pretty good. And also, it's also important to know that processing fees are deducted before each transfer and cannot be charged on a monthly basis. So, what are the pros and cons here? If you think about Square checking accounts, what are the pros you need to really consider this year before actually switching, before pivoting to Square? So, what are the pros? Pros, you have instant access to funds, no monthly fees, no overdraft fees, no minimum balance requirements, fee free ATM withdrawals, fee free foreign transactions, easy card management, enhanced security features, integrated with the Square ecosystem, customizable transfer options, and you have printable checks and bill pay. So this is actually a very good list, a very decent list. I mean, more than decent list of advantages. Okay, so when I say instant access to funds, for instance, basically funds from Square sales are available instantly. This allows for immediate reinvestment or spending without waiting for transfers or processing delays. So this is really good, especially if you are in a niche that requires constant reinvestment into the business. There are no monthly fees, okay? There are no overdraft fees. There are also no minimum balance requirements. And when I said fee-free ATM withdrawals, basically you want to understand that the ATM operator might charge you some fees, but Square itself doesn't charge you. So the operator might charge $3 to $5 per transaction. You also have easy card management, so the ability to issue up to 5 additional debit cards for team members provides convenience and control over your business spending. Okay, and when I said printable checks and bill pay, here you have the ability to issue printable checks and manage bill payments directly from the account. So this is a great feature for small businesses, especially for small businesses in a very competitive space. So those are the pros, right? The pros of Square checking accounts. Obviously, there's no perfect product in this world. So you have also drawbacks. So if you decide to go with Square, you're gonna have to face certain drawbacks. And the top one here is that basically you have limited overdraft protection. So like I said a little earlier, the account doesn't support overdrafting, so any transactions that exceed the available balance will be declined. So this can be a limitation for businesses that need more flexibility in managing their cash flow. So if you need to have access to, if your cash flow, if your funding transactions are pretty, I would say pretty, like the velocity is pretty high, you want to go for another provider. You have potential ATM operator fees. I spoke about that a little earlier before. You have no physical branches. So if you are willing to go with a Square, you will not have access to physical branches. You have you have dependence on digital infrastructure. Okay, and the thing is, you just you are hooked. If something happens with the Square platform, you are really toast, right? You have also limited integration with non-Square services. Obviously, Square came up with this checking account. They want to make sure that you have a good integration with their payment processing, okay, and other tools. But if you use other financial products or services, you might face challenges in syncing or managing accounts across different platforms. Like if you're going for QuickBooks, for instance, or for Zero or Wave, among others. And there are also no physical checks for payments. So although you can issue printable checks, traditional physical checks are not possible. So this might be a limitation if you, let's say, prefer or require this method of payment. You also have no interest on deposits. So, there's no APY, and you have fees for instant transfers. In addition to another drawback I want to mention here, you have limited customer service options because Square is a digital only service, right? So customer support is limited to online or phone assistance. There is no live person that you can talk to that you can see in their face and actually have like submit a problem to. So when you think about Square checking, you gotta first ask yourself, where are you at in your small business in terms of let's say operation or even efficiency? Because to be able to open a Square checking account, you gotta be a Square POS user. Like I said, maybe you don't like to use a Square POS. You like to use a QuickBooks POS, or you want to use a HealthSim or a Clover. Like you have another provider. So if you're not in Square POS space, you're not going to be able to use the products. Okay, but one thing for sure, if you are a Square user, and you think that the Square checking account can actually be a decent option for you, just ask yourself: are you comfortable about doing online banking? Are you thinking about like having a access digital access to your bank? Because there's no branch to go to. So you got to be comfortable about conducting business, your banking operations on the phone or online all the time, every single time. So if you are someone who likes to have a direct contact with customer service at a branch and ask questions and have some kind of a hand, like if you want somebody from the company where you have a checking account to hold your hands, Square is definitely not for you, okay? And Square is kind of similar to all those fintechs, actually, such as Novo, Relay. You have Bluevine, you have Brex, among others, that provide banking services too. But those companies are not banks. So what they do is they partner with third-party banks to offer entrepreneurs and small business owners the possibility to open a bank account, okay? And one thing you also need to understand is that their services may change without notice because it is actually, that's the thing. If you are using an online online banking platform, you really have to be comfortable with inflexibility, like with constant change. Okay, that's part of the business model. One thing for sure, when it comes to business banking, there is no one size fits all answer. So Square check-ins are largely fee-free structure, and low minimum balances make it a great choice for small businesses who already use their POS services. But the limited external integration, lack of physical checks, and fees for instant transfers can be a serious drawback, especially if those things matter to you. Okay, so one thing you need to understand: look at the pros and cons again. Like I think I gave you a lot earlier, the pros and cons, and ask yourself, what are the pros that work for you? What are the cons that are there? And can you live without those pros, or can you live with those pros? So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about Square checking accounts. I gave you the overview, the features, the requirements, the pros and cons, and the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.